My wife cheated on me with her boss, stole $250, $0 from our joint account to buy a house for her affair partner, and now she's forging my signature to claim our family property. I feel shattered and don't know how to fight back. Hello everyone. Dear listeners, please share your thoughts in the comments section below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Now, let's begin the video. Using a throwaway for obvious reasons, with certain specifics modified to preserve anonymity. I never thought I'd be the guy like this, but here I am, sitting in my living room, trying to process the fact that my wife, Lisa, who I thought was the love of my life, has been cheating on me with her boss. The thing is, it wasn't just a fling. She stole $250,000 from our joint account to buy a house for her affair partner, Jake. And now she's forging my signature to claim our family property. Yeah, life hit me with one hell of a punch and I'm still trying to catch my breath. Lisa always seemed like the perfect wife, beautiful, charming, ambitious. We'd been married for 7 years and I thought we had a good thing going. Sure, we had our arguments, but nothing that made me think she was hiding something. She was the type to act busy, work late, and always had an excuse ready. Looking back, I guess I was too comfortable, too trusting. I never thought she'd betray me like this. It all started to unravel a few months ago, but I didn't realize it at first. She became more secretive about her phone, always locking it when she went to the bathroom or answered a call. I'd catch her deleting messages or hiding her screen when I'd walk into the room. She'd brush it off, saying she was just talking to a friend or handling work stuff. But I sensed something was off. She was more distant, less affectionate, and her excuses for not wanting to have sex became more frequent. She'd say she was tired, stressed, or just not in the mood. I brushed it off, thinking maybe she was just busy with her career. Then came the night I found the evidence. I was sitting on the couch, scrolling through our joint bank account online because I was planning to pay some bills. That's when I saw it, an enormous transfer of $250, $0. My heart stopped. I thought I made a mistake, so I refreshed the page, but there it was again. That kind of money doesn't just disappear. I immediately pulled up the transaction details and my stomach turned when I saw it was marked as a house purchase to an address in a neighborhood I'd never heard of. My mind raced. Who was this Jake guy? Why was she buying a house for him? And more importantly, where was the money coming from? I stayed up all night going through every bank statement, every email, every message I could find. It didn't take long to realize she'd been planning this for a while. I found emails between her and Jake, filled with flirtatious nonsense, discussing their plans for the house, their future. She had been lying to me for months, pretending everything was fine. The worst part is, she always told me she loved me, that she was committed, and I believed her. I was so blind to what was happening right under my nose. The next morning, I confronted her. I didn't want to believe it, but I couldn't ignore the evidence anymore. I called her at work, told her I knew everything, and demanded she come home. When she arrived, she had that bitchy smirk like she thought she could manipulate her way out of this. I laid everything out for her: money, messages, the house. Her eyes widened, and for a second I thought she'd break down, but instead she just rolled her eyes and started lying again. "Oh, come on, Jason," she said, crossing her arms. "It's not what you think. That house isn't for Jake. I was just looking into investment properties, and that money, I was going to pay it back. I swear, I didn't mean for you to find out like this." I was furious. How could she lie so effortlessly? She was always good at twisting the truth, making herself the victim. She had the nerve to act innocent when I knew damn well she'd been sleeping with her boss, Mark, for months. The way she brushed it off, insisting she was just working late, and that I was overreacting, God, that made my blood boil. I felt like I was losing my mind. Was I really that naive? How did I not see this coming? The emotional impact hit me like a freight train. I felt betrayed, humiliated, and completely shattered. For years I had trusted her, built a life with her, only to find out she'd been lying, sneaking around, stealing from us, and planning a future with another man. The pain was overwhelming. I wondered how I had been so blind, how I had missed all the signs. I kept replaying her words, her excuses, her fake tears when I confronted her. It was all a lie. Every moment of intimacy, every "I love you" was just part of her game. I couldn't sleep that night. I kept thinking about what this meant for us, for me. I felt angry, then deeply sad, then numb. What hurt the most was knowing I had trusted her, shared my life and my money, only for her to use it to build a life with someone else. I felt like a fool. The house she bought for Jake is worth millions now, and I have nothing but a broken heart and a pile of lies. I don't know what's worse, her betrayal or the fact that she's now trying to forge my signature to claim our family property. That's where I'm at now, feeling shattered and trying to figure out how to fight back against someone who's so good at lying, cheating, and stealing. If I'm honest, I don't even know how I'm supposed to move forward from this. I want justice. I want her to pay for what she's done, but I also know I need to protect what's left of my life. I never thought I'd be the guy telling this story, but here I am. I guess the worst thing about betrayal is how it makes you question everything: your judgment, your worth, your entire future. And right now, I feel like I'm just trying to hold on to whatever piece of myself I have left. After that confrontation, everything changed. I couldn't sleep, couldn't eat, and I found myself packing around the house trying to make sense of it all. Lisa kept insisting she was innocent, that the house and the money were just investments, and that I was overreacting. She kept repeating how she loved me, how it was just a mistake, and that she'd fix everything. But I knew better. I saw through her lies now clearer than ever. That smug look she had when she lied to my face, the way she dismissed my concerns, it all made me realize I'd been living in a dream world. I decided I needed to dig deeper. I started looking into the details of the transactions, the property records, and her recent emails. That's when I discovered she'd been forging my signature on some documents. The thought that she was trying to claim our family property, our home, without my knowledge made my blood boil. I knew I had to act fast. The first step was to get a lawyer. I found a good one, someone who specialized in financial crimes and property disputes. I explained everything, and he told me that Lisa's forging my signature was a serious offense. He advised me to get a police report and start documenting everything. I felt a strange mix of relief and anger. Relief that I was finally taking control, and anger that she'd gone this far. Meanwhile, Lisa kept up her act, pretending she was the innocent wife. She'd cry, say she was sorry, claim she'd never do it again. But I wasn't buying it anymore. I knew she was lying, and I knew she was planning to keep the house and the money. I found more emails, flirtatious, suggestive messages between her and Jake, discussing their future plans, their secret life. It was all right there in black and white. She lied about her fidelity, lied about her intention, and now she was trying to steal what was ours. I started gathering evidence, screenshots of bank transactions, copies of emails, the property records. I also hired a private investigator to follow her. I needed to know if she was still seeing Jake, if she was planning to run away with the house or the money. That's when I found out she'd been meeting him secretly, even after I confronted her. She'd been sneaking out at night, making calls in her car, trying to cover her tracks. The more I learned, the more I realized she was a master manipulator, someone who could lie with a straight face while planning her escape. Emotionally, I was a wreck. I felt betrayed, angry, and incredibly stupid. How did I not see this? How did I let her get away with so much? The worst part was knowing she was lying to my face while plotting her next move. I felt like I'd been played for a fool. Every time I thought about the house, the money, the lies, my blood boiled. I couldn't believe I had married someone capable of this level of deception. One night I sat down and wrote a long letter to myself, trying to process everything. I poured out all my feelings: anger, sadness, betrayal, and a strange sense of relief that I finally knew the truth. I realized I couldn't stay passive anymore. I had to fight for what was rightfully mine, for my dignity, and for my future. I decided I wasn't going to let her get away with stealing from us, with forging my signature, or with lying to my face anymore. The next day, I met with my lawyer again. We drafted a plan to file for an injunction to prevent her from claiming any property or money until everything was sorted. I also filed a police report about the forged signatures and the theft. It was a small step, but it felt like I was finally taking control. I knew Lisa was calculating, manipulative, and cunning, but I was determined not to let her walk all over me. That's where I stand now. My trust is shattered, my heart is broken, but I'm not giving up. I have evidence, legal backing, and a plan. I know she's going to fight dirty, maybe even try to turn others against me, but I won't back down. I just want my life back, my house, my dignity, and the truth. This betrayal has left me feeling more alone than I ever thought possible, but I'm starting to see a way forward. I just hope I can see it through without losing myself completely. The days that followed felt like walking through a fog. Every morning I woke up with the same bitter taste in my mouth, replaying her lies, her sneers, and the way she tried to act innocent even after everything was laid bare. I kept asking myself how I missed the signs, how I let her manipulate me for so long. It's a crushing feeling, knowing someone you loved and trusted turned out to be the biggest liar and thief you've ever known. Honestly, I was angry at her, but mostly I was angry at myself for not seeing it sooner. I spent hours poring over every document, every email, every bank statement I could find. I felt like a detective in my own life trying to piece together the puzzle of her deception. The property records confirmed what I already suspected. She was trying to claim our family home by forging my signature. My name was on some of the documents, but she'd manipulated the rest. That's when I realized she wasn't just after the money or the house. She was trying to steal my rights, my future, everything we'd built together. That made me see her in a different light. She wasn't just cheating. She was actively trying to erase me from her life and take what she wanted. I decided I needed to get some outside help. I contacted an attorney specializing in property theft and financial crimes. We went over every detail, and he told me I had a strong case, especially with the forged signatures and the evidence of her plans with Jake. The lawyer also recommended I get a forensic accountant to trace the money trail, see exactly where the $250, $0 went, who received it, and how she managed to transfer it without my knowledge. That was a blow. The more I learned, the more I realized how deep her betrayal went. Meanwhile, Lisa was still acting like the innocent victim. She would cry, plead, and even try to guilt-trip me. She'd say, "Jason, I didn't mean for it to happen. I was just stressed at work and Jake was there for me. It's not what it looks like." That lie, that constant denial, it made me sick. I knew she was lying because I had the proof, but it didn't stop her from trying to spin her story. She'd also accuse me of being paranoid, of not trusting her, and that I was ruining her life over a misunderstanding. That was her favorite line, "It's just a mistake," she'd say, as if stealing $250,000 was just some slip-up. I started to feel a mixture of rage and despair. Rage that she'd betrayed me so completely, and despair because I genuinely loved her once, and I never thought she'd do something like this. The worst part was the emotional toll. Every time I looked at her, I saw her lies reflected back at me. I would catch her sneaking glances, trying to gauge my reaction like. She was always one step ahead. It was exhausting. One night I decided I couldn't keep living in this limbo. I needed to confront her again, but this time with a clear plan. I called her into the living room and told her I had hired a private investigator. Her face went pale for a second, probably because she knew I was onto her. I told her I'd uncovered her meetings with Jake, the forged signatures, and the transfer of the money. I told her I was going to take legal action to stop her from claiming the house and to recover what she stole. Her reaction was classic. She tried to deny everything again, twisting her words, acting innocent, and even crying crocodile tears. "Jason, I swear I didn't do all that. You're overreacting. Maybe it's some kind of mistake or misunderstanding," she said, her voice trembling, but I wasn't buying it anymore. I'd seen enough. I told her she had one chance to come clean and tell me the truth. Otherwise, I'd go ahead with the legal process. It was the most decisive thing I could do at that point. I wanted her to understand I wasn't going to be manipulated or played anymore. That night I lay awake thinking about everything, about how I had trusted her, how I'd built a life with her, and how she had taken it all and thrown it away. I kept asking myself if I could ever forgive her, or if I even wanted to. The emotional damage was profound. I felt like I'd lost a part of myself, like I was trying to hold onto a sinking ship. But I also knew I had to be strong for myself and for whatever future I could still salvage. I realized that moving forward meant making some tough decisions. I wasn't going to let her walk all over me, not anymore. I needed to protect what was mine, my property, my reputation, my sanity. I also needed to prepare for the possibility that she might try to fight me in court or even try to run away with the house. That's why I started gathering witnesses, friends who knew about her behavior, my financial records, and anything that could prove her deception. I'm not going to lie, it's been one of the darkest periods of my life, but every day I remind myself that I deserve better than someone who would do this to me. I still love her, I think, but love isn't enough when someone's willing to betray everything you stand for. I'm trying to stay focused, stay strong, and figure out how to get through this mess. I don't know what the future holds, but I do know I won't let her steal any more from me. Not my house, not my integrity, and not my peace of mind. The legal process has been every day feels like a new battle, and I've realized just how deep her lies go. My lawyer told me that Lisa's forged signatures are clear evidence of her intent to claim our property illegally. Still, she's cunning. She's already starting to spin stories to the authorities, claiming I'm the one trying to sabotage her, that I'm paranoid or even abusive. It's almost laughable, but I know her game. She's always been good at twisting things around and making herself look like the victim. I've been working with the forensic accountant, and the results are shocking. The $250, $0 she transferred out of our account was sent to multiple destinations, some to Jake's accounts, some to shell companies she set. It's a tangled web, but it confirms she was not only planning the house for Jake, but also laundering the money through various channels. That's when I realized this isn't just about her cheating. This is serious financial crime. I've never felt so betrayed and furious in my life. It's like she was systematically dismantling everything we built together. Meanwhile, I've started to reach out to people who knew her well, friends, colleagues, anyone who could testify to her character or her recent behavior. I need witnesses who can confirm her secret meetings with Jake, her lies about the money, and her attempts to forge my signature. The legal team advised me that gathering enough evidence and testimony is critical. I also made copies of every email, every message, every document that shows her planning this. I want everything documented, ready to fight her in court if it comes to that. But it's not just the legal stuff that's weighing on me. It's the emotional toll. I feel like I've been punched in the gut so many times I don't know which way is up anymore. Every time I think I've hit rock bottom, something else happens. Another lie uncovered, another document proving her guilt. The betrayal cuts deep, and I find myself questioning everything: my judgment, my worth, the future I thought I had with her. I keep asking myself how I didn't see it, how I was so blind to her manipulations. The worst part is her continued denial. She insists she's innocent, that I'm misunderstanding her motives, that she's the victim. She claims she's being unfairly accused and that I'm trying to ruin her reputation. It's infuriating. I see her face when she lies, her smirk, her fake tears, and it makes my stomach turn. I know her well enough now to see through her act. She's a master manipulator, and she's trying to turn everyone against me. I can't let that happen. I've started to distance myself emotionally. I can't keep giving her the benefit of the doubt when I have so much proof against her. I've also been talking to a counselor, someone to help me process all these feelings of betrayal, anger, and helplessness. It's hard, but I realize I need to keep my head clear if I want to win this fight. I can't let her drag me down into her chaos. One thing I've learned is that trust, once broken like this, is almost impossible to repair. I used to believe in honesty and loyalty, but now I see how fragile it all was. I've also learned that some people are capable of incredible deception. She lied to me every day, pretending to be the loving wife, while secretly planning her escape. That realization makes me sick, but it also fuels my determination to take her down legally. I've made it clear to her that I won't tolerate her stealing from me or trying to claim what's rightfully mine. I told her I'm going to fight her in court, that I have enough evidence to prove her guilt, and that she can't get away with this. She's still playing her victim card, crying and insisting she's misunderstood. But I'm done with her games. I've realized I need to focus on protecting myself and my future. The thing is, the emotional damage is real. I wake up some mornings feeling numb, other days filled with rage. It's exhausting, but I keep telling myself that I've come this far, there's no turning back now. I have to see this through no matter how hard it gets. I want her to face the consequences of what she's done. She thought she could cheat, steal, and forge her way into a new life, but I'm not going to let her get away with it. I'm determined to fight for what's mine, my property, my dignity, and my peace of mind. The court hearings are set, and I've never felt more on edge in my life. Every day, I'm reliving the betrayal, the lies, the stolen money. Lisa's trying to spin her story, claiming I'm the one who's paranoid, that she's the victim here. She's still insisting she didn't do anything wrong, that the money was a mistake, that the house was just an investment she was planning to pay back. It's infuriating how she can lie so effortlessly, even under oath. It's like watching a master manipulator in action, and I can't help but feel a mix of rage and helplessness. My lawyer has been relentless, preparing me for every possible move she might make. We've gathered all the evidence: bank records, forged documents, emails, witness statements. The forensic accountant's report confirmed that the money was transferred to Jake's accounts and laundered through shell companies. It's clear she was orchestrating this entire scheme, and I have the proof to back it up. Still, I know Lisa's good at twisting facts, at playing the victim, and at convincing others she's innocent. That's why I've been reaching out to people who can testify to her character and her recent behavior, friends, even her own family if I can get them. The emotional toll is heavy. I've been feeling like I'm walking a tightrope every day, trying to stay strong, trying not to break down, all while knowing that she's doing everything she can to turn the court against me. I've had sleepless nights, staring at the ceiling, wondering if I'm doing enough, if I'm fighting a losing battle. Every time I see her in court, I see the same smirk, that smug look that says she thinks she's still in control, but I'm not letting her win. I've come too far, and I won't let her destroy what's left of my life. The worst part is the constant feeling that I've been played for a fool. I trusted her, loved her, and built a life with her. And now I realize she was lying to me all along. The house, the money, her fidelity, none of it was real. She was just pretending, a master at hiding her true intentions. It's a bitter pill to swallow, but I've learned that betrayal cuts deep, and sometimes the only way to heal is to fight back. One day, during a break in the hearing, I approached her lawyer and asked what my next move should be. He told me to prepare for the possibility that she might try to claim hardship or financial difficulty to sway the judge. I need to stay focused, keep my evidence tight, and be ready for her to play dirty. I also decided to hire a private investigator to keep tabs on her. I want to know if she's still meeting Jake, if she's trying to hide assets, or if she's planning some other scheme to get around the law. Meanwhile, I've started to think about what I really want out of all this. I know I can't trust her anymore. I want my property back, and I want her held accountable for her actions. More than that, I want to reclaim my peace of mind. I've realized that the betrayal has changed me, made me more cautious, more guarded. I don't think I can ever trust her again, and honestly, I don't want to. I've come to see that some people are just fundamentally dishonest, and no amount of love or hope can fix that. I've also started planning my next steps outside the courtroom. I've reached out to a counselor to help me process everything. I've been thinking about moving somewhere new, starting fresh, something to rebuild my life from the ground up. I know I need to let go of the past, but it's hard. Every time I see her face in court, I feel a surge of anger and disappointment. I just want this nightmare to end, to put all of this behind me. In the midst of all this chaos, I've learned a lot about myself. I've learned that I'm stronger than I thought, that I can survive betrayal, and that sometimes justice is slow but inevitable. I've also learned that trusting blindly is dangerous, that I need to be more cautious, more aware. Most importantly, I've realized that I deserve honesty, loyalty, and respect. And if someone can't give me that, then I have no choice but to walk away, even if it hurts like hell. I don't know what the outcome will be, but I do know I won't stop fighting for my future, for my dignity, and for the truth. The court date finally arrived, and I felt a mix of exhaustion and determination. All the months of fighting, digging through lies, and gathering evidence had led to this moment. I sat in the courtroom, watching Lisa sit across from me, her face a mask of fake innocence. She still tried to spin her stories, claiming she was misunderstood, that she loved me, and that she was the real victim. But I knew better now. I had the proof, and I was ready to fight for what was rightfully mine. The judge listened carefully as my lawyer laid out the case: foreclosure of forged signatures, recovery of the stolen money, and a request to prevent Lisa from claiming our property. We presented all the evidence: the bank records, the emails, the forensic accountant's report, witness testimonies. Lisa's lawyer tried to object, to argue she was misunderstood or falsely accused, but the judge wasn't convinced. The evidence was overwhelming. When it was my turn to speak, I poured out everything: the betrayal, the pain, the years of trust shattered. I told the court how Lisa had stolen from us, lied to my face, and manipulated her way into our property. I explained how her actions had left me feeling betrayed and humiliated, but also determined to reclaim what was legally mine. I looked directly at her and said, "I want justice. This isn't just about money or property. It's about respect, honesty, and integrity." She took all of that from me, and I won't let her get away with it. The judge's decision came after hours of deliberation. She ruled in my favor on all counts. Lisa was ordered to surrender any claim to the house, the funds, and to pay restitution for the stolen money. The forged signatures were invalidated, and she was barred from claiming our property until everything was settled. It was a victory, but it didn't erase the pain. The damage was done, and trust was gone forever. After the ruling, I felt a weight lift off my shoulders. I finally had clarity, and I knew I was on the path to rebuilding. Still, I was cautious. I knew Lisa would try to fight back, maybe with more lies or legal tricks, but I was prepared. I had my evidence, my witnesses, and a newfound sense of strength. I also decided to cut ties with her completely. No contact, no explanation, just moving forward. In the weeks that followed, I focused on healing. I started therapy, talking through my feelings of betrayal and loss. I also began to rebuild my life, finding a new place to live, reconnecting with friends, and even taking up new hobbies. The betrayal had changed me, but I refused to let it define me. I learned that no matter how deep the wounds, time and resilience can help you heal. Looking back, I realize I've grown stronger through all of this. I've learned that trust should never be given blindly, that people can surprise you in the worst ways, but also that justice can prevail if you fight for it. I've come to accept that some betrayals cut so deep that forgiveness isn't always possible, and that's okay. Sometimes, the best thing you can do is pick yourself up, learn from the pain, and move on. My advice to anyone going through something similar is this: never ignore the red flags. Trust your instincts, and don't be afraid to ask questions or seek help when things don't add up. Justice might take time, but it's worth fighting for. And most importantly, remember that your worth isn't defined by someone else's betrayal. You are stronger than you think, and you can survive even the darkest betrayals. In the end, I've learned that true strength comes from facing the truth and choosing to rebuild, no matter how shattered you feel.